Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the three-point contest at All-Star Weekend, the LED Court at the All-Star Weekend, and Rachel Dolezal fired over OnlyFans account. And make sure you stick around for later in the show when we'll be discussing the oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask that you like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Just put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
You flow with that, Faith, by the way. You just
I've done
flow right
I've
through
done
it.
it. Let's see, how many shows have we done? This is our 21st show, so
Wow.
I've done it 21 times.
Your kung fu is strong with that. It's like, it's Monday. I figured you'd stumble over something and then
Nah.
instead of tip, you say flip or something like that. But no,
Yeah.
it's Monday. You make us all look bad on a Monday.
We'll see. I am tired because it's Monday, so we'll see if
And
I slip
before-
up on something.
And before we started this, I was talking to you off air about the fact that I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was just wide awake all
Yeah.
morning. And then I took a Benadryl to kind of knock me out for an hour. A Benadryl, which makes everyone tired.
Yeah.
1 hour. That's about it. So, did you have a good weekend?
I
Do
did.
anything fun? Let me hear the fun stuff.
Yeah. So I did work Friday and Saturday, but my parents came into town yesterday, and they're hanging out. They're leaving tomorrow, so I get to
Ooh.
hang out with my parents. I haven't seen them since Christmas, so
Actually,
very
that's
nice.
actually that's pretty
Very
cool.
excited to catch up with them. So I hung out with them majority of the day yesterday, and then I will have me and my boyfriend are gonna have dinner with them tonight. So
Do they get along with the boyfriend really well?
they love him. They love him. And especially my dad. I've never dated anyone where my dad was okay with that person. And
You're daddy's little girl.
I am,
It
yeah.
takes a special guy to win dad
yeah,
over.
and my dad absolutely loves him. My mom told me, she was like, if you guys ever break up, you might have your dad upset with you.
Ooh. Two things on that one. One, that's one of the things I learned later in life is you're not just dating when you start getting serious with someone, you're not just getting serious with him, but you're getting serious with their family.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, it's a rough go if your family hates him and they hate vice versa. Ooh, rough situation.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is what you were just talking about if you two split up and your parents. I have a friend of mine. This is a true story, and they split up, and it felt like the family wanted the
Took sides
boy.
with it.
Yeah. Everyone went with him and kept inviting him over to things and things like that, and it was like, you can come if you want to, but he's invited. So imagine you go to a family event, he's already there.
Yeah.
You go to Thanksgiving dinner, he's carving the turkey up for everyone.
No.
That's like, oh hell no. No. I'm friends with all my exes, but I can't have my family picking an ex over you.
That's pushing the boundaries a little.
And that's a true story. I mean, they love her ex. So Faith is like, like, that is not in your wheelhouse there. Okay.
No.
So
Did you
let's
have a
do
good
this.
weekend? Good
I
weekend for you?
did. I've been working a lot.
Yeah.
So another long weekend of working full day, morning, night. But my wife and we took a nice long walk, which sounds kind of lame. But our walks are actually kind of cool because
Your walks
we're
are
on
nice.
Yeah, we're right on the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And so we walked all the way up. We're in southern Portugal. It's it was what, 75. Actually, it's
That sounds so nice.
I got to put sunscreen on before going out on a walk because the sun is so beaming. And that's with me with my built-in sun protection. So if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And but no, we walked about 4 miles, 5 miles out, and then another 4 miles in.
Hmm.
So about 8 miles total, 100% along the
Wow.
coast. That's actually best one of the best walks like
That sounds
you can
nice.
have. It's awesome. It's like you see the big old waves and everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, my walks are not like, hey, I'm walking down Crenshaw Boulevard or something. No, mine are along the coast and southern Portugal. So can't go wrong.
Well, that sounds nice. I don't know if I could do an 8 mile walk though. That.
There's a walk in the Algarve that I'm so tempted to do one day.
Hmm.
You can literally walk from the tip of Portugal in the Algarve all the way to Spain. And that is one I have been totally tempted to do. And it's an amazing walk, an amazing view. It's more of a hike walk kind of situation, but it's kind of awesome. Walks go right past me. I live an hour and a half from Spain.
Hmm.
So it's not like I can drive it in about an hour and probably walk it. Probably take me a day to walk to Spain and or so. But that sounds. I know that sounds kind of like, oh, tough life. You're close enough to walk to Spain if you wanted to. Sounds, yeah. I need to shut up now. Faith is just looking at me like, oh, I'm in Georgia, you sucker.
Yeah, it's just all trees and stuff here.
You know what else? You guys have like America and Australia. I never realized this as an American. We have a lot of like wild animals.
Hmm.
You don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm gonna run into a grizzly bear or a wolf or a coyote or something.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest concerns when going on a long walk is you're gonna stumble over someone laying out nude on a beach somewhere, which happens way more than you think.
Hmm.
Or or the I'm just gonna say it in my own way. Or one time we were walking along the beach and we come around a cove and we hear someone talking. So we come around and it's this very plump old man, and he's naked as a jaybird, not one stitch of clothes on. All he's there, he's swinging to the breeze, and he's just talking on his cell phone, having the time of his life. And you woke up like, hey, you just walk on by.
Good for him.
That's the hazards of people do not care about laying out naked on the beach here.
Yeah.
So that is one of my hazards is that you can run into that. Faith is laughing at me.
Gosh. All right.
Okay, let's move
Well,
on from that one.
with that, let's dive into the 3 point contest at the All Star weekend. So, Steph Curry defeated Sabrina Ionescu in the first ever NBA versus WNBA 3 point contest at the All Star weekend. Um, Both of them are great 3 point shooters.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah,
Yes.
but this weekend, Steph Curry narrowly defeated Ionescu Saturday when the 2 point sharpshooters faced off during All Star weekend in the first. Yeah, we already covered that. Okay.
It's Monday. Remember
It's
we talked about
Monday,
that
yeah.
whole stumbling?
Yeah. The Golden State Warriors scored 29 points to the New York Liberty Star, who scored 26. So, I mean, they
All
were.
right, when you watched it, did you think she was going to win?
I was hoping she was gonna win. I mean,
I'm just saying, when she went first, because she
mhm,
started off incredibly hot, she emptied
yeah,
those first two racks, and
she
I was like,
did.
oh boy, look
Yeah.
at this.
Mhm.
And so, and then she had a really nice score,
Mhm.
was
They were only
26.
Yeah, they were only 3 points away from each other. Curry got
Right.
29, Ionescu got 26. And she moved back further
Yeah,
to do
she
her
originally
yeah.
she was supposed to do the women's
Yeah.
3-point line. Instead, she did the men's 3-point
Mhm.
line, but she still used the women's ball.
Yeah.
This is why I thought this was the perfect way. This couldn't end it any better.
Mhm.
This was exactly what I was hoping for. And what it is first off, let's talk about this and then I'll go to why it ended so perfectly for me. She started out, she was on fire. She was great. Then Steph Curry came in, and you could tell he had to get into a rhythm. So he didn't start off as
Yeah.
nice as she did.
Mhm.
But then down the stretch, you could tell that he kind of got into a rhythm.
Mhm.
And that is the big difference. At one point, one of the guys on TV, and I think it was Kenny Smith, one of those guys, was like, he's not going to get it.
Mm.
But Steph is so clutch. It's like Patrick Mahomes, Steph Curry. There's certain guys, as the pressure gets on, the more they deliver. And so down the stretch, he just totally brought it home.
Mhm.
What I liked most about this was I felt like it was the perfect ending. And why I say it was the perfect ending was both sides it was a total feel good moment, but both sides had something that they could say that was like really great. Steph Curry is did Steph Curry things,
Mhm.
which is awesome. If he'd have came out there and just destroyed her, there would have been a small group of people that had been like, see, a woman can't compete with a man, the woman shouldn't be there. And who we don't like those people anyway, so shut the hell up. then, but she went there. She performed like impressively. She only lost by 3 points. It
Mhm.
was a great feel good moment. And anyone on her side could say, hey, if she would have been at the women's 3-point line, she would have won.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It was just a feel good moment for everyone.
Mhm.
Everyone won in this. I thought it was super cool. Her and Steph kind of they hugged at the end. You could tell it was like a cool thing. They're talking about doing it again next year, maybe taking a partner for but making it this was such a great moment. They're talking about doing it again next year. If they do it next year, maybe it becomes a regular thing. Because I'm going to tell you, I watched the entire All Star weekend, and my favorite part of All Star weekend was that 3-point contest. It
Mhm.
wasn't the men's 3-point contest. I thought I was going to fall asleep during the dunk contest, and I thought the All Star, the game itself, oh my, I for me, it wasn't good. I think
Mhm.
what was the final score? I think it was like 211 to like 190, something like that. It was just like no defense at all.
Mhm.
I feel like they need to do something different. They made it the old format, which I liked, the East versus West. Uh, but there's just no defense. I would have loved if it have been the US versus the world, all the international players versus the American players. I think it would have been maybe a sense of pride there that the U.S. wanted to beat the international players and the international players want to beat the American players.
Mhm.
Because as a whole, the only one that really felt like there was something important on the line or that there was, it wasn't just like phone it in, was the Steph Curry, Ionescu, can't say her name properly, uh,
Ionescu.
I honest you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That one felt like it mattered to these
Yeah.
guys. Like there was there was a lot of love between them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of support between them. There was a lot of, you know, greatness, but there was a sense of pride. She wanted to beat Steph Curry. You
Yeah.
could see she wanted to beat Steph Curry,
Mm-hmm.
and Steph Curry did not want to lose to her,
Mm-hmm.
but in a positive way. And so that was the game that just felt, I mean, that was the event that I thought felt the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked the celebrity game. The celebrity game was decent as well. But as a whole, I thought that was the event that stole the show for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has the event that they love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people like the celebrity game. Celebrity game was fun. Someone likes the 3 point contest. The dunk contest, something has to be done about the dunk contest. You you want the biggest stars. That's what is missing. I want to see LeBron and all the biggest names out there, Kevin Durant, Booker, all those guys. And that's what the slam dunk contest was missing for me. As a whole, it's a it's a feel good weekend that people get a chance to rest and kind of hang out.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the Steph Curry Ionescu game, I mean, contest was the best.
Uh-huh.
Thank you
Yeah.
on,
Thank
beating up on me because I really butchered her name.
I didn't know this, but Curry and Ionescu had charities that received donations from the
Yes,
NBA and the WNBA as a part
that
of
was the
their,
whole point of that. Yes.
yeah.
I think
Um,
that's really cool. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
they also had a chance to raise money for the NBA Foundation too, which aims to further economic empowerment in the Black community. Um, Each regular shot was worth $1,000. Every money ball was worth $2,000, and a special 29-foot, 9-inch three-pointer called the Starry Range ball was worth $3,000. So I think that was really cool. Also, that while it seemed more like they were just having fun than it being like
Yeah, it was more. It
anything.
was more of a like let's say you and I decided to do a 3 point contest. It's that brother sister kind of
Mm-hmm.
competition, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was that feel good competition. That's what I meant by it. She
Yeah.
wanted to win. Steph wanted to win, but if Steph lost, it wasn't the end of the world. She did lose. It wasn't the end of the world. It was
Mm-hmm.
about, you know, two great players coming together to raise money for charity, which I love,
Mm-hmm.
and come together. And it put a spotlight on her. I don't follow a lot of WNBA. I
Mm-hmm.
support women's sports and women's basketball to the 50th power. And then I realized who she was. I knew her from how close her and Kobe were, Kobe
Mm-hmm.
Bryant. And so once I realized who she was, it actually even gave me a little more interest in it. And I come back to what I said about Caitlin Clark and things. I watched her shoot in such a nice, I mean, like she has a nice smooth stroke and everything. And some of the WNBA players, I'm not saying that you give them a spot, but I would love to see some of them get a tryout every once in a
Mm-hmm.
while, just a tryout, because basketball is that ultimate sport. You don't have to be as strong as the next guy. You don't have to be as fast as the next guy. Basketball is a very skilled position, I mean, skilled sport
Mm-hmm.
that some of the women are, in my opinion, in some cases, could be just as skilled in many cases. I watched the men's 3 point contest and I kept thinking, she could have won that.
Yeah.
She could have, I thought she had a real shot at winning that, and I thought she looked better than most of the guys. So that's what kind of made it kind of intriguing to me. This was, even though this was the men's basketball, the NBA's week of showcase, this was a great week for women's sports and women's basketball. With her, Caitlin Clark, and everything that went down. Caitlin Clark breaking the record, people talking about women's basketball. Is she the greatest of all time? Is she not? No, this woman should be, this person would be. The fact of the matter is, they were talking about women's basketball and it's never talked about. It is never, especially not on the national NBA ESPN level. You watch, there was a number of different videos and TikToks and Facebook posts and things of that nature that you don't see women get. A lot of times, being that I've been in podcasts for a very long time, a lot of times, if you even bring up women's basketball, you'll see that'd be your lowest rated podcast or lowest viewed podcast. And some of the people will say like unsubscribe, which is like horrible. And so this was a week that you could really praise for women's basketball. And so this was one of the best weeks ever, as far as me and thinking about sports in general.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a woman, I think it's great that more traction is being made with women's sports, because it's, like you said, it's not talked about a lot and people don't really want to listen to it. So I think it's great that, these women are getting recognized for how talented they are, and people actually wanting to see what they do and how well they do it, which I think is great. So
yeah, bring back. I think they should do that 3-point contest back again. I'd watch it. I love how they're talking about maybe partnering up, bringing in 2 WNBA players versus 2 NBA players. Love that. I would love a mixed game where there's a couple of WNBA players, a couple of NBA players, and playing a game that way. I think it'd be great. Yeah. So that's all. That concludes my take on that one.
But get off my soapbox now. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing the LED court that made its first debut at the NBA All-Star Weekend.